Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Makaba Moyo. I was born in Jamaica and I came here when I was a child, and I've been here since. I am interested in African history and African culture, mainly the Congo, and I also write. A lot of my writing is poetry. So before I start, I'd like to just read you one of my poems that I wrote about women. This one is called Woman. The lighting is not so great here, actually.
Maybe think just in the middle. No, I think that's the
Light from here. Oh, that's a little bit better. This one is called Woman. Woman and man exist together as one union. Woman and man need each other for reproduction. They need each other for balance and harmony in nature. Woman cannot be relegated and should never be disrespected. Woman should be nurtured and cherished. She carries life in her womb and gives birth for continuation. She nurtures her children and her husband with love and tender care. When she receives love, respect, and kindness, she maintains a high standard of care for her family. Woman should also respect herself so that she may be respected. She must give to herself what she gives to her family. Man should never disrespect or mistreat woman, because it is an abuse of the womb from whence he came. Man should never dishonor or speak harshly to a woman, because it's an abuse of the womb from whence he came. Man came from the womb of a woman and should respect every womb. Know and respect the nature of woman, because she is Mother Nature. Woman holds the key to our existence. What I had prepared was something about Yavita Kimpa, but I believe Yavita Kimpa has already been spoken about. Did you speak about the message from when she was about to be burnt? I don't know if I should go through this again or.
Maybe just 5 minutes to tell us what, how inspiration she's to you or to other, women.
Okay, if you know the story already, then okay, that's fine. So just before Yavita Kimpa was born, there was in 1665. The 29th of October 1665, there was the war called the Mbwila War, which the Portuguese brought against the Congolese. In that war, they killed the King Vitakanga and severed his head. And short time after that, they burned the capital in Banza Congo, which was the capital of the kingdom. The people so they destroyed the kingdom of Congo. They had destroyed the capital city in Banza Congo, and they divided the kingdom into two, Ndo, Mptolo, and Ndo, Nzao. So about 20 years after that, so people were very sad, and they were praying every day and night for their wonderful kingdom to come back, because at that time it was a thriving kingdom. And 20 years later, in 1685, Yavita Kimpa was born. We know she fell ill, she died, and when they were about to bury her, she was awakened, and she told them she'd been to the spiritual world for her training, and she came to do her mission now. So I will just say what her mission was and what happened to her after that. Her mission was to rebuild the capital city in Banza, Congo, that had been destroyed by the Portuguese, to revive the ancestral religion. Was at that time it was called Nzila Congo, the way of Congo. She had to awaken the people so that they would turn away from foreign religions. She had to unite the two groups of the kingdom and organize an election to select a new king. And she also had to rebuild the Banza Congo, to unite the kingdom, select the new king, and bring the people back to their natural way, natural religion. So she began doing her work. At that time she was 17. She began doing her work, and in no time the kingdom was thriving. She had a large following, and people were turning away from the foreign religions, which the Portuguese priests were not happy about. When it came to uniting the kingdoms, she decided with the elders that they would do a session of 40 days fasting and praying before they chose a king. Yavita Kimper and 12 of her wise women went into a secluded place in the forest to do their 40 days fasting and praying. When the Catholic priests realized this, they went after them and started torturing and killing those women. They brought Yavita Kimper to Ndom Patolo in the mountain of Vululu, gave her a trial in some kangaroo court and found her guilty. What they wanted Yavita Kimper to do was to denounce her spirituality and to accept Jesus Christ, but she wouldn't do that. And she told them that her work was not coming from herself, it was given to her in the spiritual world, and she would not destroy the good work that she'd done. They beat her, humiliated her, broken her, but her spirit was strong. She was relentless. When she wouldn't give in to their torture, she just became silent and let them talk. But after a short while, Yavita Kimper could see beyond that there was a star coming down in Congo, in the Kingdom of Congo, and she was happy for that. She couldn't see the light. She saw people who came before her. She saw who people would come after her. So she was seeing the future of Congo. And she was happy, and she started talking. She said many, many things. One of the important things that she said was that the female sheep of Congo will become the leopards in the war of liberation of Congo, because the sword of fire has defeated all the enemies. So that's an important thing for females to recognize, that Yavita Kimper saw the future and she was happy about it. She was prepared to die for what she believed in, and those who gave her the death sentence, she accepted it because they gave it from their heart, and she accepted it for the liberation of Congo. After that, when they couldn't convince her and she was speaking so strongly about the future of Congo, they added more wood to the fire and threw Yavita Kimper in the fire. Immediately they put her in the fire. She was surrounded by like an enlightened, she was enlightened, her soul lifted out of her body, surrounded the fire, and she was saying mystical conclave, as she went up into the heavens. And she said to them that the Bakongo are alive and everything has been accomplished. So she saw the future, that everything that she's worked for, everything that those before her and those coming after her had worked for had been accomplished. And she was happy about that. She disappeared for 3 days after that, and then after 3 days she appeared in the villages and she was teaching the people everywhere, and after 40 days she disappeared. what the Catholic priests did to Yavita Kimpa, they started to discredit her. They said that she had a baby out of wedlock. She had the name of Jesus Christ on her lips when she died. But it was all lies to discredit the good work that she did. But those who know her story, they know that it was lies. And Yavita Kimpa is celebrated all over the world. So she started her work when she was a young girl of 17. And when they put her in the fire, she was 21, still a young girl, but so brave. Now, you can offer politicians or anybody else some small money, and they would give up their country, their people. This was a young girl, she was strong, she was determined, and she would not relent. So she is a great messenger, a great heroine, whatever you want to call her. She was a great lady, and her spirit lives on today as we're talking about her. And she has inspired so many people, and she will continue to inspire many more. So I've cut it short because I didn't want to overlap too much with what Monanzita said. So that's just a short presentation on Yavita Kimpa.
Very good.
I don't know, we don't have much time left. We have, this is the end of our session. I don't know if anybody has any question or any particular question that you have that's burning or wasn't clear, or any comments from anybody?
Yes, me.
Yes.
I would really like to know the real story of Kimpa Vida. Do you have a book
A book?
about her?
Okay. Yeah, there's a book there.
Can I read it?
Yeah. I think
You can buy it.
online.
Oh, yeah. Can I?
Let's have a quick look.
Yes, yes,
It's two versions. There's Congo and French.
no, in French.
There are some
But
people,
there is a French on the paper.
there are some people telling stories like on YouTube or somewhere, but they haven't got the story properly. They will add that she had a child, and they were showing pictures of her in the fire with a child and a man. That's not the true story of Yavita Kimpa. I don't know where they got that story from.
Okay. And so when she buy the book, you said?
I think they may. If you search.
Oh, it's like a picture.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Comments? Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry to be late. I just came from Kinshasa. I would like to express my sincere thanks to the women to stand up for the Women Day, International one. The respect that everyone can have to women is something that nobody can say, make it a negative comment about it, because we are coming through. Every single person, even the woman herself, have what I can say, a rent that we didn't pay while we spent the 9 months in the village. It's not just the rent, but the food as well. Because we had the food inside to survive up to when we came out. And coming out is not easy. So many women died afterwards. I just want to ask Clara Makaba to read the last word of Yavita Kimpa, then I can make a small
The
comment.
last word.
Yeah, the one you say.
Oh, you, hold on, I'm trying to say, which one was the last one? About everything being accomplished.
Yeah.
Okay. She said, do you want to go back to where the female sheep?
Yeah.
She said the female sheep of Congo will become the leopards in the War of Liberation of Congo because the sword of fire has defeated all the enemies of Congo.
Can you go with that?
That's the only bit I took
Oh, no,
out.
no, oh,
I took that bit out. I didn't want it to be long.
yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And then there was another bit that she said, if the Congo are alive, everything is accomplished. Yes,
thank you so much.
Yeah.
So that is something that Peter Keeper said to everybody.
Yeah.
But if you add with Malcolm X message about women, it's better from today to tell to every single woman in the world that actions talks more than words.
Yeah.
So all those nice words and people are saying about women, still just words.
Yeah.
Until when the women are going to take action to bear in mind that they were powerful in the past.
Yeah.
We can only build our present by referring to the past.
Yeah.
But the past cannot be our place of residence, but our place of where the outcome, where we can go every time, retrieve something, and come put it in action so that we can move forward. Women, if you condemn, they are more than men everywhere. But when it comes to the elections, even there is women standing against men. Women always go and vote for men.
Yeah.
I really don't understand that.
I think it's a conditioning, and a lot of women, they're not aware of how powerful they are. And because it's male dominant, and we don't go back, as you say, to talk about stories like so many great ladies, especially in Africa, in the Caribbean also, there are always women fighting. And I've even got this book that there were so many women in Marcus Garvey's team. They were doing a lot of hard work behind Marcus Garvey. He wasn't doing it by himself. So it's a conditioning, and men, because they're at that level, they continue to, you can use the word, shall I use the word abuse that power and keep putting the woman down to keep her here while they go up.
I think what he was trying to say is more the solidarity between the women.
Yeah.
So at an event like this, I'm sure there's maybe more women that could have attended.
Yes.
That come to support. But when you have a leader and you're asking women to follow that female leader, you will not really find them. And if you have a man on the other side trying to do that, then you have all good.
Yeah, and it's all part of the conditioning. It's all part of the conditioning. Because if you're aware of yourself and aware of what's happened in the past and what's happening now, because there are lots of women doing great things now, then you would stand up. And it's lack of confidence in women ourselves.
And the system is well, because I remember in Gabon there was a lady who stood up, was like in opposition, but the way that lady was restricted,
Yeah.
to make her to shut up,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Because they have the weapon they use for the lady is the sexual violence. If you have been abused, you know what it is affects your all your body and even your mental, you know.
Yeah.
Because this is the weapon now they're using. That's why you can see my mom said, ladies, wake up and come open your eyes so you can after this question, this morning, only this morning, you know.
Yeah.
Because what they do is that weapon they use to reduce the ladies.
Yeah.
And when you have been abused, I don't know if you have that confidence. There should be someone to come and encourage you. And but if you are alone, you're going to close your eyes, as I said today in the report. You're going to close your eyes and then just cry, you know. You need to be strong. But there's all, even that time, this time, there always a lady who's always fight.
Yeah.
I remember even in
And they don't have the support.
That's
what I was gonna say.
But we need the system.
We need to support each other.
Yeah.
Those who know better have to do better.
Yeah.
But we are in a patriarchal system that is imposed not only by
Churches by the state.
Yeah.
The state and churches, because in churches as well, a lot of women go there when they have domestic violence, sexual violence, they go to their pastor, and sometimes pastor prays on them, and they are in a situation where they cannot come out of it. And then the state also, like now in many African countries, the countries are militarized, so it's a patriarchal system that's put a weight on women. And if sometimes we ourselves women, we perpetuate that patriarchy and that masculinity without realizing that we are.
The thing is, Africa is a matriarchal society,
yes.
so we have to reverse it.
I think we can have
I don't really agree with you about the matriarchal, because when Yaya Victor Kimba was alive, that system matriarchal was there. When Yasantua was there.
So when did it change?
But when it changed, because they, you know, the person who confiscated your history is the one who got your future. Is controlling your future. We must know that, as you are saying about Yaya Kimba, our history was I can't say abused, but
the thing is, when you don't tell your own story, it's not going to be a true story.
Like right now, what is happening? We are going to send back all the treasure that we took from Africa. You know, we are calling it art. It's not really art. There are true value of identity, which was taken away for a century. That is the memory of the people. If you don't have your memory, it's like a mobile phone without a SIM card. So right now, what the women should do, they must know how powerful they were in the past. And put a certain strategy which is going to help them to stand up and hold it up. Even the men who are ruling the country, it's the women who are dictating them what to do. If you follow exactly
in the background,
is the woman who are pulling the string. That if you can use it by pulling your own string, you can change your world. Even you are so small, you are not waiting for the man. Just put the strategy and move.
Yeah, but I'd also like to add that this one is a painful one. For us as women, African women, you know, we should be proud to stand as who we are instead of trying to be someone else. That can't work. If you're not identifying as yourself, you want to be someone else. You're already defeated. Stand up as yourself. Be yourself.
They are not presented icons. Nobody is telling them what is out there for them to look at. There's no example. There's nobody, nothing. Especially I've got children who ask me questions. I don't even know myself.
But what do you,
I have to be
what do
about
you tell
stories
your
and
children if, for example, nobody has natural hair anymore or nobody's black anymore? What do you tell your children? How do they see the future?
So you go back to story as
We have, these are some of the things that we have to
I think the children know. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to present her presentation. So we've got a sister from Ghana, Pat. She's exactly talking about what we're talking now. How do we bring the future generation around the table and give them a legacy that our foremothers we've been discussing today? And she, hopefully, are we meeting tomorrow? If we're having a discussion tomorrow on the way forward, I'm going to present it, I'm going to put it in a PowerPoint later tonight, what she wanted to say today. But she sent me a picture. She bought her grandchildren, 6 years old and 4 years old, a book about a story in Ghana, about children's story in Ghana. Actually, it was a Yaya Asantewa story, yeah? But what fascinated her was that the 6-year-old boy, not girl, he painted Asantewa in black in the face as well, just to make sure that people know her identity. So she knows. So the children, they know, but what they need is guidance. And this is also the same as to our sisters in Africa as well. They have the energy, they have the will, but they need some kind of guidance or mentoring. We need, it's not that we know better than them, but we need to join our efforts. We need to support one another. And I see it here in Europe as well, whereby women politicians, not equipping and empowering them with what the women, the suffragette women, did all those years. So it's not just our society. And I think, I don't know if you are here when we started, but there is a TED talk that Marika started with one lady from Zimbabwe. And she was saying that it's about time that us as African women create a bridge with our European sisters. We bridge our efforts and we strongly work together to make sure that we support one another in our. I sit down, look at the lady in America, what's Kamala Harris, for example. She should have set up a networking group for women. I recently found out that there is a networking for African women leaders that met at the UN in 2017. What are they doing that me and you and all of you cannot be part of? See, but then they haven't come to us. Let us find them. Let us organize ourselves, find them, and hold them accountable and say, we are your sisters too, in the communities, at the grassroots level. We want to know what your plans are so that we can spread it in the community. They haven't done it, but it's our chance to be able to do that.
Some of them, there with all respects that, with whatever achievements they've made.
Yeah.
It is more political reason, just to have some female figures among that, but there's nothing really coming out of that. I think the people that need to start is really to start from the bottom and be able to bring it up there, and then they can now support and be able to elevate everybody. But if we're waiting for them, who are just being put there for political reasons, not to be correctly, morally correct, and having good and people, is not going to work.
Yeah, I think this brings us to the session tomorrow. I feel like tomorrow we can meet here, organize, write a resolution to these women and say women from grassroots communities have met, have found out who you are. We want to be around the table where you are too, because we will be the messenger. You are on the political arena, that's fine. We are in the communities, in the grassroots. We will be the messenger to our sisters as well, so that we can all create that chain of support.
One thing that this conversation today was about is for us to be motivated by what our foremothers did in Africa, because a lot of them, maybe you didn't see the presentation, we were showing all the women, the Pan-African women, all over before, particularly during the colonization, how they resisted, almost in the same way. Either it was in the Caribbean, either it was in Africa, they were resisting, but their story was diluted and was silenced in a way that it was silenced so that other generations will not be capacitated, because you can only give what you have, and you can, and the thing about identity that you say is very important today. Why? Because we identify with a Eurocentric way of looking at things. As you say, many women feel ashamed to be black. Many women feel ashamed to have our wool hair. Many women feel ashamed to not being able to have things like whatever they're showing in the media. And there's a training that we give in Congo where we talk about violence against women, that this type of stereotyping is doing. Because today, for instance, when you go to many places in Africa, you find women with no natural hair, no natural, they have changed their color, they bleached their color, they want to become white, you know, because they feel ashamed because of the whole situation where they've been at the bottom every time.
But I also believe that all those things can start today because it has already been there. So if we're talking about bleaching the skin is not a 20th century thing. It's something that was brought and has always been there. Many generations were born finding it there. So of course we are fighting to maybe drop those things and to start looking into what is really an African person. And also not to forget that Africa comes with so many colors and of course we say Africa is not just black. So it comes with a lot of shades of people. So and everyone has to be, you know, with what it is there.
Proud.
So, and again, in the family itself. So there is just so many, when we start talking about colorization and also there is so many things we need to do because even within families, you have kids who are maybe more whiter than other, and that's already a problem in that family because some are looked more beautiful than the others. And so I think there is just so much work to do when it comes to talking skin and talking, and also just as a parent being able to give our children confidence in who they are. And those are things that we didn't have as even growing, even as we're grown in Africa itself. If we start talking about our own families, then there is so much thing to talk about that there is, like, even the language itself. I remember my parents, my mom, my dad talking, they would talk Chiluba. But when they turn to us, my dad would always speak French. Like, they say Baluba, they can speak the language all the time, but not always, because I remember learning Chiluba with my grandmother. You understand? So my dad always spoke to us in French. But when he was talking to my mom, they would speak Chiluba. You know, I like language. I can speak Swahili, I can speak Chiluba, I can speak Lingala and a little Fati Congo. I learned myself. You know, and my Chiluba I learned with my grandma, of course. But again, it's just to say that we have reached a place where many things were not healed in the right time. And it's being brought, and even ourselves, we don't even know in this country what to tell our children. Most of our children don't even like Africa to start with. What do you tell them in the house? Do you even sell Africa to them? Many parents, I talk to many of my friends, oh, no, okay, sell in Congo. Me, I get chilled when a grown-up man is telling me that. It's your country. It doesn't matter how many years you have lived here. At least go even once, just look. And those are the first people also, when they start criticizing Congo, there is no space for something good in that country. But there is a lot of good things, even now, in Congo. But so many people will talk negatively about that country. And those, when our children listen to those things, who want to go there? What child want to go there? No one.
The humanization has been a 400 years process, and it's ongoing with the militarization that is ongoing at the moment. And you can see that the country has been completely dehumanized. You know, people have lost humanity, and that's why I think we can listen again to that TED talk where she's saying there is now lack of compassion in Congo, where you see people earning some people are earning $5,000 and they're paying their worker, like their domestic worker, £50, £20. It's unfair. What can you do with £50 in Congo? And this is a salary. Imagine the army in Congo, a military personnel who's paid $15 per month or $50 per month. It's not. So there is a dehumanization, and with the war, if you look at the process from when Mobutu left power in 1997 to now, there is a decrease in terms of humanity. You know, that we've lost the social fabric, and we've had 20 years of war. If I tell you today, even in Congo, people, some women, they don't even know their reproductive organ. You go to place, they don't know, because all they see is what they see. They haven't got any information, no structure, nothing. You know, people might think, how can somebody think like that? A disease such as, you know, the disease of Bureli, they're looking at it as everything has become mystical. It's about God. We have to pray. People are just into the prayer mood. They've conditioned them. Yeah. So it's like, you don't even know how to grow your own vegetable on your background. We have land. People don't know how to grow their vegetable. They've forgotten how to grow just 3 weeks vegetable like matembele or, you know, things that give them vitamin. They've forgotten that lemon can, you know, you can use it as a disinfectant. You can use it to, you know, they've forgotten because of the.
But because also because of the condition we have been put, you know. When there's no help in the place you are living, even in your mind, looking in your mind, your mind is not settled anymore. But if you cannot do anything, because even eating is a problem for you, security is a problem for you, social is everything.
But the country also is becoming too much capitalized, because it's many people think what Martha is saying is true, because we can, Papa said something here which is very important, because we can't always stick to the past. Let the past be somewhere archive place where we're going to pick something to action. Because Congo, the thing also is, as Moa said, even you have a space of, we live in, I grow tomato here. Only this year I did it. I grow tomato in grow bags and big tomato like that. I grow chilies. But in Congo, people have space. There's more space of land. Even if you don't have those space, you can grow things in bags. You understand? But there is also, I can understand where you're coming from. About,
there's no security,
it's
true. In the lower condition, the lower condition.
But I believe that in the lower condition is where people brain us to work better, to give you what you don't have. That's what I believe.
You need someone to come and tell you, because that's why we are working very hard here. So we can go everything we are doing, go there and.
But when we were growing in the backyard, we had chickens. We were planting. I remember my mom had in our compound. So everybody was coming to collect onduma, tembele and stuff. But again, that's what we're saying. We have social media, for instance. So if I look at many people I know in Congo, nobody does research. In this country, people do research. Like, just people can put their mega in their phone just to watch some other things that, but you can put it to learn how to grow tomato, for instance.
Tomorrow, anyway, there's space here to continue this conversation, because we have to leave the room. I just wanted to ask you to pay attention to the decoration that we have with some of the women that, you know, black women and some other African women. So if you want to kind of have a look a little bit, to learn a bit about these women.
What is this? Fatou Diome.
Fatou Diome, yes, she's missing. This was selected by the African Union. They couldn't select anybody, too many people. just as I selected some of the women here, so you might find some of them, others. And don't forget Afatu Diome, she's in the diaspora.
Yes.
These women are mostly based back home. Really.
Oh no, there is
Yeah.
Oprah.
Yeah, Oprah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
And there is probably
Yeah. Okay, so feel free. Tomorrow we're going to discuss more.
1 o'clock, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you
We will just put you. We will just put.
No,
1 o'clock.
So inspiring. Thank you all. I come tomorrow.
Yes, no problem.
Keep just so glad that you came. I learned so much.
For our sister.
I'll be in touch. Nice to see you.